And I thought they were the more disciplined team. They were the more physical team. They dominated on both line of scrimmages, and it wasn't even close. And so credit to them. Matt's done a tremendous job here. They're in year 5. They're going to the championship game. He's steadily gotten better each and every year. And last year, just reading coming in the game, he talked about how had restructured some things to make sure they played better down the stretch. And whatever they did worked, because I thought that was as good as they've seen, good as they've looked on film. And so credit to them. Not our best performance. I didn't think that our guys came out and we didn't coach good enough, didn't play good enough. And with that, I'll take questions.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Our first question will be from Greg Hunter. Go ahead, Greg.
So, Neal, you already talked about the, getting beat up front, but is that part of the run game's inefficiency? And you guys have been up and down with that this year, sometimes good, sometimes struggled. So was that part of your issues? You just couldn't get the blocks you needed?
Yeah, we couldn't sustain it all. Greg, you watched it probably the whole thing, and the line of scrimmage moved back almost every single. We had one drive there where Letty hit some good runs. I think they had their twos in, the 2D line for sure. And then they subbed them, the starters back in, but they dominated the line of scrimmage. Early on, they shot their linebackers in gaps, which is something they hadn't done all year. We were trying to double team the down guys because we knew it was going to be difficult for us to maintain some one-on-one blocks, and they shot their linebackers. We switched some things up. And then they really got heavy in the B gaps, with their ends, and we struggled at tackle, and that's probably putting it mildly.
Go ahead, John Antonic.
Hey, Coach, other than the score, was there anything that they did that you didn't see from some of the games before, or was this what you saw is what you saw?
No, they do a good job mixing it up offensively. They had some really good things for us. I thought that this was the worst tackling performance we've had, but they did a good job getting us isolated. And Purdy, and I talked about this in the press conference earlier in the week. He's super underrated. His ability to extend plays. You look at all their explosive plays. I'm betting, I don't have it in front of me, but I bet over half of those were him extending plays. Whether it's scrambling, which I know he did on a couple third downs and 1/4. And so they mixed it up. They did some different things offensively, but they do that each and every week. So, we were prepared for them to do some different things. Defensively, they just line up and play. The only thing they did differently, they maybe blitzed a few more times, but then they shot those linebackers in the gaps. And other than that, they didn't have to do a whole lot. They won their one-on-ones. The thing that's impressive about this team, and it's something that our program needs to get to. And here's the deal. We're in year 2, and we're a lot better than we were a year ago. And it didn't show today, but we're a lot better than we were a year ago. But we're a long way from where we need to be playing and competing to be in that championship game that's happening here at the end of the month. And that was clear today. That was something as a staff I knew, as a coach I knew. But we'd been in every contest till the end of the game. That was definitely not the case. We were I don't know if we were in this game past the first quarter, and they soundly beat us. Now, with that being said, they're playing with a lot of veteran guys. They've been in – that quarterback's played a lot of games. They've had a bunch of off seasons, and that's a big, strong group that's been recruited for 4 and 5 years. So I don't leave this game. I'm not discouraged. I'm upset. I'm disappointed how we play. I'm not discouraged. This isn't going to set us back from a program standpoint. It has brought to light some things that we already know, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Hey, Coach, real quick, is this physically how you want your team to look in a couple years?
There's a lot of things they do in this program that I respect, that I think that we've got to mirror at our place to get where we want to be.
Next question is from Charles Montgomery.
Coach, it was a issue again today. It hadn't been an issue for the last few weeks, but drop passes again with your receivers. And so now it was, like I said, not an issue. So what do you need to do now to go back to trying and fixing that issue with Oklahoma next week?
Well, the deal is, it's not about who we're playing next week or who we play today. Is until we make routine plays, we're never going to be as good as we need to be. All right. And you look at these teams, like you look at Iowa State, how many extraordinary plays they make today. A couple. But here's what they do. They pay attention to details. They do what they're coached to do, and they make routine plays. Ball's thrown to them, they catch it. Guys open, they connect on the throw. They win their one-on-one battles. Guy in open field, they make a tackle. And that's we've got to do a better job of making routine plays. Drop passes has hurt us in our losses. It hurt us today. It took away some scoring opportunities. That's not the reason we lost the game, but it did take away some scoring opportunities. We had two, and we had a definite drop on fourth down. We had, I don't know. We probably had 4 or 5 today.
Kevin Kinder.
You went with a 4-man defensive line much of today. What was the thinking behind that, and any early returns or thoughts on how you think that worked?
Well, we played a 4-man line for most of the game against TCU too, and so they do a good job up front. We knew they were going to try to run the ball. We felt like we had a better chance, and then we had some things, where some guys were out that came back from a contact tracing deal, so we didn't have our full group to prepare. So we just felt like getting our best 11 out there. Our best opportunity with that was going with 4-down line. Obviously, the results weren't great today. I'm aware of that.
Go ahead, Cody Nesper.
Neal, I'm sure you don't want to make excuses, but how many of today's issues do you think might stem from not having played in 3 weeks?
I don't know. I mean, I could sit here and give you a bunch, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. We did not play very well at all the first half. We didn't have a lot of energy. And here's what I think. This is the first time that we've had much adversity. And we had some adversity. We had some calls that didn't go our way. We had some guys that came out and we played against some elite guys. Their running backs are tight ends, and they made some plays. We lost one-on-ones on offense, and things didn't go our way. And quite frankly, we just didn't handle it very well. And we got exposed in some ways today that we haven't been exposed all year. And did it hurt us not playing 3 weeks? Absolutely. Was that the reason we got our tail kicked today? By no chance. We were out. We were missing some guys. Is that the reason we played poorly? No. Is that the reason no, that's not the reason. Now, did any of that help us? Absolutely not. Would we have been better if we'd have played last week? Yes. Would we have been better if we had everybody? Yes. Is that the reason Iowa State soundly beat us? Absolutely not. And you won't if somebody that's wearing this logo or myself ever try to come in here and make excuses, we'll figure something out, because that's not ever what we're going to be about.
Go ahead, Mike Kazaza.
Hey, Neal. I think when you look at the score and the disparity, there might be some surprise, because I'm using air quotes here, but like just Iowa State and tradition and history, that doesn't seem like something that they do. You saw that out there today. You've seen it on film. If you put them in a different jersey, what do you see that looks like one of those top shelf programs where they've constructed their season and their team so far?
Yeah, they're built in the right way. I think people get hung up on that opening loss. They had some guys out. They had a kickoff return, a punt return for a touchdown. They didn't play very well. But really, since that opening game, they've gone on a streak here, and they're playing as well as anybody in the country over the last month of the season. They're built to contend. They can stop the run, and they can run the football. And if you can do those things, and you get into late November and into December, and you can stop the run and run the football, you got a chance against everybody you play against. And they got a quarterback that can extend plays, all right? And when you get in 3rd and 4th down, those things matter. The ability to extend plays matter. And then defensively, they can get pressure with 3 and 4 rushers. People don't talk about that enough. You can get pressure with 3 and 4 guys, and you can still cover, then that gives you a chance defensively. We tried today. We got exposed. We didn't cover very good. We didn't get pressure with 4 guys. We tried 5, didn't get pressure. But I think, Mike, they're playing as good as anybody in the country outside of maybe Alabama. I hadn't got to see Clemson or Notre Dame, but they're playing really, really well. I think they continued to play their starters and stuff late today to try to make a point. And I don't blame them. There ain't no soreness about that to me. I think they're a really good football team. And I don't care what jersey they got on. They're as good as anybody in the Big 12 right now. it doesn't get any easier for us either because we're going to see another good one next week.
Okay, Coach. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it.